Hello there.
Hey.
What's your name?
So my name's Don Metzger.
Okay. Tell us about yourself.
I'm a land surveyor by trade. I'm also a father, a husband, a son, and a brother.
Okay. Where do you live?
Flanders.
Where's that?
Flanders is a little hamlet, part of Southampton town. It's right east of Riverhead. It's like the first town on the South Fork of Long Island.
Okay, Long Island, New York, right?
Yep.
Okay. So how is it living here in Flanders?
Flanders is nice. It's I actually grew up here.
Okay.
It's a nice place to live. It's where it's a working people's community. Modest homes.
Alright.
It's nice. Lots of things to do. There's we live 2 blocks from the bay, so you can do boating, fishing, shell fishing, and we have lots of woods to hike in. Nice place to live.
Any special memories growing up here?
When I was growing up here, I have 2 older brothers, so we used to do a lot of biking, hiking in the woods. There used to be lots of wild blueberries. I remember picking wild blueberries in the woods.
There used to be a lot of blueberries.
So fishing, snapper fishing.
Huh?
Lots of fun stuff to do when you're a kid. So yeah, I have good memories growing up here in Flanders.
How long have you been living here, actually?
So, alright, I was born in New Jersey. My parents moved here when I was 1 year old. 1 year old. And my father's aunt had a house she wasn't using, and we moved into that when I was 1, and we were there for the first 3 years, and then they bought a house in this neighborhood, which they're still in, when I was 3. So, and then when I was 21 or 22, I bought a house here in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
So now I'm in my second house here in Flanders.
All right. So, how would you say the neighborhood's changed over that period of time?
There's more year-round people here now, and less vacant lots. There's more houses, more people. When I was growing up, it was primarily a summer community, so people would have homes that they only used in the summer, and so there were a lot less people here.
Okay.
There's a lot more people here now. Not much has changed. Other than that, it's pretty good. It's low crime.
Okay.
Pretty good place to live.
What would you like to see happen in Flanders in the next couple of years?
All right, I know what. I'd like for Flanders to have their own zip code.
Their own zip code.
You never know. We use Riverhead zip code, which is 11901. But we're not in Riverhead town, so it's a little confusing. We're in Southampton town. I feel we should have our own zip code. There's enough people here.
Yeah.
I think we could have our own zip code. That would clear a lot of things up, because when people ask you what your address is, you want to say Flanders, but then the zip code comes up Riverhead.
Oh, yeah, that could be a problem. Any final thoughts?
I mean, Flanders is a great place to live. I would recommend it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Okay.
That was terrible.
Hello.
Hi,
Tell us about yourself.
my name's Cheyenne Metzger. I'm 17 years old and I like to act and sing
Where do you live?
in Flanders, New York.
How is it living in Flanders?
Well, it's fun for the most part because of the beach and the weather's pretty docile, but it's sort of a very bland environment.
Oh, what makes it so bland?
I think it's the lack of people in Flanders. It's sort of deserted nowadays. And there's a lack of businesses, you know, of young people to take initiative and make new businesses and new, you know, industries here. People sort of skip over this town and go straight to Southampton or Riverhead.
What's your favorite memory in Flanders?
Oh, my favorite memory in Flanders is hiking in the forest across from Bayview Pines. It's very fun. There's a lot of deer and random artifacts and locations, such as Spinney Road, which is this road that they never completed, which also adds to the lack of, you know, infrastructure. I think the reason they didn't complete it was because of Southampton's waters under this town or something like that. But yeah, I really like the forest. That's one of my favorite memories.
Do you have any favorite locations?
I think my favorite location in Flanders is probably just the sound in general. Just the water.
The water? The bay?
Yeah, the bay.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I like the bay too. Do you have any least favorite memory in Flanders? Pertaining to the
Oh,
area?
my least favorite memory in Flanders is waiting at the bus stop in front of Bayview Pines neighborhood. First of all, that bus stop is terrible. The sign is not printed on anymore, so it's just a white block floating in the air. And a bunch of scary people just drive up to you randomly when you're standing out at the bus stop because it's like on a main highway. So, I don't know, people forget that a bus is coming there, so they just drive up and they're like, well, where are you going, little miss, you know? I don't like it there, but it takes me from point A to point B, so.
If you were to improve one thing about the area, what would you improve? If you were put in charge, like town supervisor.
I would say they should be promoting more businesses because that attracts homeowners and more people want to move into neighborhoods around here. Because there's less businesses, there's less delis and, you know, places to just pick up groceries. People don't really want to live here, they want to live closer to town. So I would encourage Flanders to become more of a town and less of just an area you have to pass by.
Okay. So you're young. Do you plan on staying here or moving away?
No, I plan on moving away, which I think is a problematic mentality, but me personally I have to, but I think it's sort of problematic for everyone to want to get out of an area instead of improve the areas they come from. You know, that's how we end up with a lot of ghost towns all across America. Because people just want to go to main cities like LA or New York City, you know, those sorts of places.
Okay. Well, thank you for this interview.
You're welcome.
Okay. How are you, Grandma? Tell us about yourself.
I was born in 1941 in New Jersey. And I moved to Long Island in, I think it was 62 or 63. No, it was 63. Yes, so 63.
Okay, so how was it like when you first, where'd you first move to in Flanders when you got here?
Actually, we lived about 3 miles near Riverhead than I live now. But just like we're living on the saltwater here, we lived on the saltwater there also. We bought this house in 1967. So we lived, like I say, the other part of Flanders from 63 and here 67. The house was built in 1960, the year my firstborn was born, Billy, who was born in Italy. And talk about children, my second born, Tommy, was also born in Italy because my husband was in the Army. But after we got out of the Army, went back to where we came from, which was northern New Jersey, and Donnie was born in New Jersey, like I said, in '63. We moved here, went around Thanksgiving, so when he was about 6 months old, not literally here where I am now, but up a couple miles away, like I said, in '63. Moved here in '67. This house was built in 1960, so it was 7 years old when we bought it. God told me when I was a little girl I was going to live on the water, salt water. So when it came time to buy a house, I told the real estate lady, don't show me anything unless it's on the salt water. And she happened to be a friend of mine and had just gone in the real estate business, so she did what probably she shouldn't have. She told me the truth. The truth is, if you live next door or across the street from the water, you can save thousands and thousands of dollars. I said, nope, I don't want to take a chance of ever being blocked from the salt water. I want to be able to walk out my door, go through my yard, and put my feet in the salt water without having to leave my property. So that's how we got this beautiful place. The only way we could afford it was there was an apartment upstairs that we rented out. It was already being rented out, so we just, when we bought the house, it was like we bought the tenants too. Thank God over the years we got rich enough that we didn't have to rent it out anymore. Right now the youngest of my 6 children is living there. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So I had those 3 boys, 1, 2, 3, 60, 61, and 63, the years they were born. And then for 9 years, that was it. And then along came my girl, Priscilla. So the boys were 9, 10, and 11 years old when she was born. Then less than a year later, her brother Jason was born. Then, 2 years later, Jonathan, my youngest, was born, number 6, and he's the one that's currently renting the apartment upstairs. I love living on the salt water. We swim, we fish, we sail, we kayak, we canoe. I don't like the motorboat, but we do have a motorboat, and they like to water ski. I used to water ski on friends' boats before we had our boat. I don't know if I ever water skied on our boat. I think I sort of turned against motorboats by then. But the kids like to water ski and be pulled on rafts. I like Flanders because it's got a lot of variety. I was brought up, my dad used to say, variety is the spice of life, and I've always loved variety. And Flanders is full of variety. There's very wealthy people. There's extremely poor people. I mean, living in the woods. What else? They're everything. I mean, there's beautiful forests. There's of course beautiful beaches. It's almost like anything. There's ponds. It's almost like anything you'd like, we have here. And there's just enough summer, winter, fall, and spring. You know, I like all 4 seasons, the different things that are available. What makes Flanders unique? Mainly the variety of, and just the type of people. I mean, so not just from rich to poor, but also almost any race you can think of. And also different types. Some are so nice, and some are so, And it doesn't go by money or poorness or richness. It's just a variety of people. I just love Flanders. I think it's the best place in the world. I would never want to go anywhere else.
Hello, Dad.
Hello again.
Hi. So, the people want to know, what do you know about the big duck?
The big duck. Flanders big duck, that's our national landmark.
Oh, yeah?
It's like one of those roadside attractions. People always stop and take pictures by the big duck.
What are your experiences with the big duck?
Well, when I was a kid, I remember going there when it was open it was like they sold poultry, eggs, and they actually sold ducks, roasted ducks.
Oh, that's cool.
And, next door to the big duck for a while there was a hero shop.
Really?
Called Everybody's Hero or something like that.
Oh, were the sandwiches good?
Like submarine sandwiches or whatever. Heroes. Yeah, they were really good.
Huh.
It's a tiny little building there. I think it was after the big duck had closed, because the owners of the big duck used to use that building to store their ducks and stuff. Like, it was a big refrigerated building.
Ah.
I mean, it's a little building, but it's like a big refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
So when the big duck closed for a while, the submarine place, the sandwich place was there.
Oh.
Heroes.
So in the little outbuilding next to the big duck?
Yeah,
That little-
now they made it into a restrooms. Now the town owns the property. Southampton town.
Oh, the bathroom was the submarine? That's
Yeah,
a tiny building. That really is a tiny building.
But so what happened was the owners of the big duck, I guess, wanted to retire, so they sold the building.
Ah.
And a Persian guy bought it, and one summer he ran it, like selling ducks, rotisserie ducks. I think it was on my 18th. I was 18 or 17,
Ah.
and yeah, it was a cool job for summertime.
What, did you just sell? Did you
I
make?
helped them out
Help them cook them?
cook them. Yeah, they had it's a small, place. Inside's very small, and they had these two big rotisserie ovens. So it was 3 spits that rotated, and it was like flame behind. I guess it was propane, and they used to load them up with ducks. So they would rotate and drip. The duck fat would drip down to the one below, and they had a special seasoning. It was a dry rub. They rubbed the ducks with.
Oh,
Stuck them on the spit.
where did the ducks come from?
Good question. I think.
Because I know the big duck used to be a duck farm way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I think they got them from Long Island. There's a couple of duck farms. There was one in Aquabog, Crescent Ducks. I don't know which one they used, but they were local ducks. Although most of the duck farms are closed now because they're a lot of nitrogen going into the creeks.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know if they raise ducks on Long Island anymore. They still process them, but I'm not sure if they actually raise them anymore.
So what years would that have been?
Like 1980, I think it was, or 81.
Ah.
And that was the last year. After that summer, he so his nephew, the guy who was Persian, his nephew, his name was Farhad. I forget his last name, Ali Zada or something like that. He ran the place, and what I would do is I would help out around the duck, and then I would deliver to the people who would order these ducks, like having parties in Hamptons.
Yeah.
And he had this nice old classic Mercedes. He used to drive up with the ducks. And everybody was excited about the ducks. They were really good. Sometimes at the end of the day, if we had leftover ducks, I'd bring them home.
Oh, that's a cool
Crispy
job.
duck. Yeah, it was nice.
Oh,
I could ride my bike there.
wow. It was a good job.
And yeah, so Big Duck was always, for a while then, I guess it was after he ended up he wanted to make art studios in the barns. There's a couple outbuildings there.
Yeah.
But the town, I guess, gave him a hard time. But he had trouble getting permission, so he ended up giving it to the town, property. But for some reason, I know. At first, he donated the duck itself, the building. And I guess he kept the property for a while because the town took the duck and moved it down to their property. Well, no, it wasn't even their property, but there's a county park east of there. It's about 3 or 4 miles, and they moved it there for a couple of years, and then they brought it back when they acquired the town. I mean the property. They brought the duck back to its original spot. And then they had a big parade. They had to lower some wires, or take some wires down. And they had a parade. It was like a big deal. But I don't think that was the original. I think the duck originally was in Riverhead when it was first built.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but I believe it was, yeah. I think this, where it is now, is the second place it was.
Huh.
Well, I mean, it's back now. It's actually the third place. But what was there, it was originally in Riverhead, and they put it there, then they moved it to the park, and they moved it back here.
Ah, okay.
They put a new foundation under it.
All right.
So now it's like a gift shop. It's like
A little
tourist-
museum.
Tourist place there.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess they have some historical stuff there too.
Yep.
But,
Well, thanks, Dad.
all right.